Hello and welcome back to the SWAN Pricing
Hello.
Show. My name is Filip Vucic, I'm a pricing mentor.
And I'm Philip Zolota, businessman.
So today we wanted to tackle um, an all-time favorite, which is commission-only remuneration, right? Because it's, I think its popularity is growing, at least in our circles. And while it can be a good answer for some commoditized products or services, which everybody understands and everybody can basically sell if they just, apply, if they put their back into it, it's usually a great missed opportunity when it comes to expertise-based services. Um, because it exacerbates a problem that sales usually has, which is the success is not always linear to hard work. Because so if I hire somebody to dig a hole, I can check how much they worked. Is there a
Yeah.
hole? Is the hole bigger now or isn't it? Right? Um, And with sales, it's not like that. You can absolutely work your head off, to be polite, and nothing can come of it, and then you sell without trying because some other things. So it's just not linear, which is not to say that salespeople don't work hard. They really do, but it's not simply not always their fault, right? It's not, yeah. Um, and that's with commoditized stuff. With non-commoditized stuff, it's even worse, right? You had a good example pre-show. Can you explain why?
Yeah, sure. As you said, and what's happening generally when we are talking about commission-only sales, in majority of cases, when we're talking about the expertise service providers, somebody needs to make a decision to go down that specific route and choosing that specific set of services. The expert will be helping, supporting them, no matter we are talking about some implementation or any other activity. Point is, those activities and services experts are providing have very often significant impact on the business, logistical perspective, and a bunch of other stuff. And also, quite often, the decision-making process overall is longer, and it is completely crazy to perceive stuff. Okay, we have a need to sell our service to somebody, so let's go and hunt the food. It doesn't work that way because you're resolving somebody's pain challenge. And whatever is happening in sales is the previous work and compound effect. You cannot force it. The problem with commission sales model is that a bunch of activities are being managed, handled, and done previously up until to specific stage when the deal is actually being closed. And what is also often happening that companies which are engaging with commission only sales teams are losing those resources, people, because they're not earning money immediately. The bigger level of complexity of specific service and or challenge that company is facing with, the decision is being prolonged. So what's happening in the company which has only commission only sales team, they're continuously in the onboarding process of new resources because some people are working for the company, month, two, three, no results, go out, and then they need to employ constantly and recurringly more people. And there, for that, it's impossible to get to the specific stage of any meaningful results, and it's practically betting on mere luck. Aha, we have a need to sell, so we are very sure that the recipient side, the client, is now, because we want it so, ready to buy our service. So it's completely bad it's a no fit.
Word.
The opportunity cost is strong and big in that terms, and types of the engagement. And I know from the analytical perspective that even success rate in terms of deal closing and longevity of those deals and client fit is uh, bad compared to the relationship driven sales and with meaningful and continuous team having both in-house or an external partner who is actually helping and supporting your company with business development, sales, and everything else. So very
It's
challenging,
it's
definitely.
backwards.
Yeah,
It's backwards because it focuses on whether it's a good idea for us to sell something. So the margin idea, right?
yeah,
This is a really good thing, or we really need to sell something like this. But the buyers don't buy because you need to sell.
yeah,
They buy because they want to sell. They need to buy. They want to buy. They need to buy. Um, so focusing on whether it's a good idea for you to sell something is, and I think a particularly fine point is the length of the process,
yeah,
because if you're selling ice cream, there's a very narrow set of questions. Do you want ice cream? Yes, no. It's not a question of will you need ice cream sometimes in the future, right? And this is again the mix up of categories between I like to call it candy and medicine, right? Because candy you can sell like that. You
yeah,
can if you just try, if you go and find a big enough group of people, somebody will buy candy. uh if you're selling I don't know, cancer medicine, it's not a matter of a group of people.
yeah,
Maybe nobody needs that, and nobody will buy it just in case. They have to have a ready-made use case for you before you get there, right?
yeah,
And I mean, cancer medicine is still sold every day, and for millions upon millions, but nobody tries very hard to to sell it. It's not a matter of grit and effort to sell something like that, right? And all of the SWAN type services that we like to call in this show, so expertise based services, all of them are a medicine of some kind.
yeah,
In order for them to be not just entirely successful but useful, somebody has to have a need first, right? I spent so much money trying to find somebody who will, um, I was young and naive, but still, cold call for me and see who. I mean, everybody needs higher prices, right? I mean, who would be so crazy to say no? I don't want to sell for more. Everybody needs that. So I got not a dime back from these investments, not a dime, because that's not how it works. And it's not a matter of these people who are trying to help me, because they were quite successful in some other areas,
yeah,
service areas included, but basically duck kind service areas. Um, those were commoditized things. Hello, do you need somebody to cut your hair? Yes, no, okay. And you can't do that. So do you need an investment plan? What?
yeah.
What's an investment plan? I mean, I've heard about it, but do I know a good one from a bad one? No. You know? Hello, do you need a contract? A what? Why? Why would I need a contract? Well, everybody needs contracts. That's it's just not how it works. And also, incentive wise. So it sounds logical. Look, if your service has any purpose in the world, then you're going to make me money. So if you're not making money, it has no purpose in the world, right? Up to a point, sure. However, why would you ask for something up front if you could get more once you prove yourself to me? Well, this is something that I sometimes get asked because I do pricing, right? And they say, okay, well, that's easy to measure. Either you're you're helping me get more money or not. And they say, so why don't you just simply take a cut from the difference? And I usually say, well, I understand that. However, I can see that your service here is like $3,000. Now, what if I said I could pay you 3,000 now or 12 to 15,000 at some point in the future, maybe? What would you say? Oh, you would say 3,000 now. What a coincidence. Me too, right? Now, don't get me wrong. If somebody said, well, it's three now or 40 sometimes in the future, well, depending on my cash situation, depending on how much I trust you, depending on your
Yeah,
references, depending on maybe we're talking.
yeah, yeah.
So if it's 15 times more, maybe we're talking three times more. No, thank you. No, 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 no.
Yeah,
Money,
yeah,
please.
exactly.
Right?
It's about the risk in the end. And yeah, you help me remind the specific case. One colleague who is the MSP company owner said that he has 2 million prospects in his pool for the outreach. Nice and good luck with those sales activities. Hello, hello, I'm an MSP company. How much kilograms of MSP do you need today? Thank you. Yeah, crazy, crazy stuff.
Oh, so Swan Duck difference. MSP not gonna work. LSD, maybe.
Yeah,
Uh, it's a much simpler question. Um, so we're not condoning anything like that. We're just joking for legal reasons. Anyway, it's might sound similar. It's not, right? Yeah. Okay, so instead of doing it like this, instead of paying people only when on commission, but let's say that you still want to reward somebody for success, right? You want to motivate them more than simply, lump sum. What would be some things that you would suggest instead of this?
yeah, definitely a good practice and model. Simply having in mind that when we are talking about deal closing and similar, it's about the risk management and proper, adequate, we can say, distribution. In that form and format, it would be definitely good to have the incentivizing model in terms of additional value, but combined with some fixed fee, which will be actually poured into covering the cost for the time, etc., while still dominating income can be brought through results. But point is that that way, the actually company who is engaging with sales professional, entire team, whatever, uh, are actually being engaged and invested in the relationship. Because what's often happening, people are just throwing out there some percentages in terms of commission. If you bring me this, you get 10% here, 5% there, blah blah blah. And from all those conversations, nothing actually happens. So commitment is a two-way street. So I definitely advise that both the recipient side and the professionals who are providing the service align around the compensation model, which will be introducing and implementing fixed fee plus success fee. good practice is even good there if they want to fully balance things out, the amount being paid upfront in a recurring window or one time for covering the opportunity cost, having a fixed fee, will be later on deducted from compensation based on the results. That way, everything is being fully aligned. You brought the value, you brought new deals, deals are being closed, and you have a good distribution of risk. And also, professionals who are doing the BD service, the sales, and everything are being adequately compensated for their effort, time, and everything.
So I solve it differently. I understand the idea to say, it's easy to do, mentoring in a way that, hi, I'm going to tell you something that sounds smart, give me money and good luck. Okay, yeah, I can understand this. So for my regular stuff, I say I have a fixed price and we are done once the market validates what I'm saying, meaning you actually sell at the price which I'm indicating. Okay, so I won't get any more money until you do that, and we're not done. So my service is not finished until you can actually do that. So I have every incentive to help you do that as soon as possible, right? So this is a success metric of a sort. So I will have more free time if I finish with somebody sooner, and I will have more profitability on each of my hours. The sooner I'm done, right? So the incentives are aligned. They're just not aligned in a way that I risk everything and they risk nothing.
Exactly.
Uh, I'm not desperate for money. I don't need anything close to that kind of a deal. Why would I?
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm taking all of so. And by the way, 10% here, 10% there. Even if somebody was on such a model that they only get paid if they sell something, then we're not talking about 10%. We're talking about 30, right? That's the thing that I said. So if somebody wants to pay me maybe 40,000, maybe I want to risk it because maybe I'm covered with everything else, and I say okay, that's a nice difference. Yeah, let's gamble. Um, but usually people don't dream about giving away such percentage. 10%, I don't know if you agree with me, but 10% is, connecting me with a potential lead. Yeah, cool. If something happens, 10% is yours. That's completely okay. If I have to do the sale, that's going to be significantly more.
Yeah.
Right? And especially when, which sometimes is even included in these kind of deals with SWAN-based people, uh, is you have to find a lead, you have to make the sale, and you have to be an active part in in the service, in
Yeah.
the delivery of the service. Jesus, no,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. What 10%? 10%? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Um, so it sounds good. It sounds as good as I think we already covered. Working for not coverage, but what was the word? Working for exposure, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like it's a good deal, but it's absolutely not because um, people should get paid for their work. People should also get paid for their risk,
Yeah.
and this is not it.
Yeah, exactly,
Absolutely
exactly,
not.
exactly. Like you said, it's about the true level of engagement in that relationship to happen in terms of deal being closed, and also 10% ish. Like you mentioned, we can take it figuratively because sometimes on the bigger deals, a good
Sure.
commission is maybe 0.5, 1%, 3%, 5%. But point is, as you said, significant impact significant effort should be followed by the compensation, and things should be aligned there. Also, very important, accept the risk balance, and the engagement is also the component of control. Sometimes what's happening that people who are working as business developers and sales, they're taking over and saying yes to the deals, commission only based, without having any control over the process. So practically, they're fully leaning on other side being fair and taking care of entire funnel communication, etc., etc., etc. So control here is definitely additional significant component in risk balance.
You know what they say I think it's the U.S. Army, right? Trust but verify.
Exactly.
And especially, you need to have a mechanism for verifying. So maybe you won't verify
Yeah.
every day because you have better things to do. But going into a deal like this without without having a rock solid mechanism to verify something is a very, very precarious position that people are putting themselves in, right? So that's another thing that wards off people like that when they say, "Oh, well, yeah, but I would prefer to pay you on commission." Yeah. So how exactly? So what mechanism do you propose for me to have direct, unfiltered access to your business data? So if you sell something and I should get a cut, how do I know you sold something and at what rate did you sell it? Right? So how do I get insight about your firm's business? You don't. You don't say. Yeah, I would also rather not have this responsibility. So let's just not, right? One time, one case that I can see for heavily leaning into success metric is like when I help people negotiate. I currently have a deal like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
because then we both have an incentive for me to get as high of a price as possible while still being possible because I'm not going to get anything if so. And here I leaned into a minimum. So if anything comes out, this is a minimum, and then everything above that I get if the percentage is high enough because it was such a deal that we truly couldn't really know what will happen, and that is typically way less work. So equally way less risk to do something like this than to coach somebody or mentor somebody or something like that. Sometimes it's like two meetings and we see what
Yeah.
happens. This one turned out to be much longer, but also the payout is much higher. So I'm currently completely happy with it. But
Hmm.
as they say, the um, I don't know the English equivalent of it. Uh, um, so when you have a rule and then you have um, um, cases which don't fit in it.
Hmm.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay. We know the word, but we just don't want to say it out loud. So it's
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. It
Okay.
wouldn't be polite.
Exactly.
Uh, cool. So to recap, don't do um, deals like that because you're taking all of the risk, and it's simply not meant to be used like that. Um, success only metrics are simply not made for things that are hard to complicated to sell, that have a long cycle, that so they're great for selling bricks or ice cream, um, or sun cream on a beach. Yeah, those things can absolutely work, and there you're much closer to some parity of your hard work to results. When it comes to expertise-based services, it's simply not going to work. You're going to take too much on and not get enough back. Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, don't do
Mhm.
drugs.
I agree.
That was also needed to be said. Right. People, Philip, where can people find you?
People can find me on LinkedIn and also on my mentorship page, philipzalata.com.
And I'm even more on LinkedIn now with my second newsletter and monthly free webinars, and of course there's still the AI on fearless-pricing.com. Thanks for today, and see you next time.
See you. Bye bye.